pop-up stream from Tochnyi. We're kind of looking at some different imagery and other research, and thought, well, maybe we should do a pop-up stream, and that's something that we've talked about for a while that we wanted to do, and yeah, we just decided to do it. So I guess we have absolutely no one with us right now, and that's why we'll do the small talk and before we go to the research. How are you guys, Bionade and Daniele? Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. It's kind of a crazy weather here in Germany, and also in Ukraine. Last night was pretty crazy weather, right?
Yeah, Daniele.
Yeah, here in Scotland has been very cold, but not that windy. I mean, it looks like strange because normally when all Europe takes very gusty wind, we are essentially under a permanent storm. But so far the weather has been benign, so hopefully the worst is past. And thank you for having us, and I hope that all the material that today we will propose will be interesting and stimulating for the audience. Thank you.
All right. Maybe let's talk about when we are talking about the weather. I think many of us have seen in the last couple of days what's happening in Ukraine, what's happening in Eastern Europe, especially what's happening around Crimea with the storm, with the flooding, with the weather situation. Erlend, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what kind of conditions, what do you expect? Is there like a total blackout on the front? Are there still operations ongoing? What is your impressions?
Well, I think there is neither a total blackout or whiteout, as you say, when there is a snow blizzard, but neither. I think so. We won't see a completely halt in operations, but at least as the soldiers on the front lines and also in the rear, because this really impacts logistics, have to get used to the new weather conditions, as they have very dramatically changed the last few days. There will be maybe a little bit of a slowdown. Another thing that is going to be notable is that we will see a lot less videos because it's just harder to fly drones. Harder to fly them, and well, if there is a blizzard, you won't really see that much, and you don't want to lose your drones to a blizzard. They already lose enough drones as it is. So I think maybe the impression that we get is slightly different than what's actually happening. So yeah, there might be a slowdown of sorts, but it might seem much more of a slowdown just because there's less videos coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. And like another topic with the cold weather are the batteries, the accumulators of the drones, right? You need to recharge them faster. The batteries are not at such a good capacity at these temperatures. Right now, it's still, yeah, around 0 degrees, maybe a bit under, right? But yeah, the colder it gets, the less the accumulators will work. And also we saw like a big storm in the Crimea region. And Daniele, have you seen anything important on the satellite pictures around the Black Sea, around Crimea? Was there anything significant?
Maybe before we go to Daniela, maybe we want to talk about a little, like, what do you use satellite for and how do you use it, so that we can get a little bit more of a background.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for the question. I think this is very interesting because one of the more important things in OSINT or any type of information that, when I say you, I refer to all the audience, you receive from anyone, is very academic, but you should be able to replicate or at very least verify what people are telling you, and not because these verify your capability of finding information, but mostly to be sure that what you are told is realistical, or at very least plausible. So what I use is always open source and publicly available information. You would be very surprised on how many information are available on the web, even for experimental programs, even in Russia. But for satellite in more particular, what I normally do, I use Sentinel Hub, which is an open source, completely free and public web app that allows the user to navigate through different satellites from ESA. One of the most efficient are the Sentinel and the Copernicus, which scan in different wave bands, so essentially from visible to microwave and even infrared, so you can see different aspects of the imagery that comes from this satellite, and they present you as a augmented Google Map. Now, one of the main issues with this type of imagery is, of course, the resolution is not maxar, it's not to a level that you can distinguish a single feature. However, more than once, we have been able to spot ships, to have a silhouette of big structures, and definitely you can see bridges, damage. Mariupol is awful to watch from the satellite, because even if the resolution is terrible, I mean, you can see the destruction, because once you do this for a while, you start to recognize when a building is blown up or not. And another thing that you can see is the effect of the war on the battleground. This winter, I posted a couple of images showing the area South Bakhmut, and was completely littered by craters of different size, and was mind blowing, because you can actually see where the position of the Russians or the attack direction of the Russian were, because you can see the enormous amount of craters left from the artillery bombardment. So you can rely on different type of sources. Most of the time I use visible to identify the area, and then you can switch from different type of color scheme, which can help you to achieve better quality image, if depending on what you are looking for. And however, as many have seen, the weather is very bad now. It's very has been more than a month that just a few days a month are decent for visible imagery. So what I normally use is SAR imagery, which is nearly insensible to weather condition, but the resolution that has as a civilian non-paying customer is much lower than a military or paying customer. But you can still see things, definitely, and you can cross reference this type of image with other type of images in order to have an understanding of what's happening. Of course, you can't see troops movement, you can see tanks, but you can see, for example, trucks on the field. I hope this replied to your question.
Yeah, this is something I've been looking at you studying, and others like Andrew using these free open source satellite services that are out there, and you can achieve quite an impressive amount of research, even though the resolution is really, really bad. So
yeah, I mean, I can show you something. Let me just, it's the first time I share the screen, so I just need to understand how to do that here. So this should be, yes, this should allow me to share just the window.
Yep.
Can you see? Can you see the window?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so normally this is my working environment. As you can see, I will do something even better. So if you go on the website, normally it opens like this, and
Rome.
Rome.
All roads leads to Rome. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm originally from Rome, but now I live somewhere here. Anyway, so how it works? So you can see here you have to do a login. I'm going to do the login. Tag, sign in. You can hack me. And what happened here? You can select different satellites. Now, I don't know exactly all of these, but most of the most used are Sentinel-1 and 2, because as you can see from, you have also a lot of understanding here. So for example, these give you the pixel spacing in different modes, and also how many days between each revisit time. So how many times you have update from the image taken from the space. And as you can see, these are from Copernicus. And also these are from Copernicus, but this satellite 2 is high resolution images, and these are very, very nice. But the resolution, as you can see, is it can be between 10 and 60 meters. Sometimes it's very good, sometimes it's very bad, but it's free. It's total free, and you can access as you want. So
when it says 10 meters, that means that it's 1 pixel per meter, or
yes, the more you essentially, the more pixel is how many meters your pixel resolution is. So it's quite large.
So essentially, you would like a smaller number and that value.
But this is not that bad. I mean, if you go below this, is on payment most of the time.
Yep.
And it says high resolution because it's high resolution, because then you have very high resolution and many other fancy words to say that essentially you are in the order of 30 centimeter, 20 centimeter, and so on. So the most interesting thing is that you can essentially do a search on an area. Now you can see that these are different sectors that you can select. And of course, you have here also different modes. Now, you can switch from different satellite. Now we have only satellite Sentinel-2 and Sentinel-1. And once you select one of these, essentially, he will load the information from that day in that area. Now, of course, I'm quite far away, so it takes time. And this is essentially what you can see. Now, normally I use VH, and this is very good because these allow you to have a very good view of, especially in sea, you can actually spot boats and ships, and you can understand what type they are by doing some post processing on the image. Last time you helped me a lot on this, and now I want to show you. So if you want to go back, you just go back here, and then you visualize the image through the optic. It takes a bit to update. Yeah, as you can see now, this region is not scanned in this period, so you have to go here and then select any other day. So for example, 25th should be okay. No, it's not. Yeah, and as you can see, the problem of Sentinel-2 is this clouds. You can't see through the clouds. So in this situation, you are forced to use low resolution SAR images.
Yeah.
But just to give you,
but SAR images, basically, you can see through the clouds.
Yes, because you use radio waves.
Yeah.
And the good things is this: if you go, for example, on the river that we were investigating last time, and you go in false color, and you pick any other decent day. I think the 15 was decent. No, it's not. 12. Kind. Look, I mean, you see, it takes a while to update, but look at the resolution. It's very. This is, by the way, this is Krinky, so this is a very hot area. You can see troops, of course, but you can see very well the water. And I want just to underline you can definitely see small boats. So for example, you may not see boats in this mode, but you can see in SAR if they are metallic and they reflect. And but of course here you are doomed. You can't go over the clouds. But if you go in another day, look how beautiful it is. And if there is a pontoon bridge, you will see. Because for example, if you go in another look here, the dam, what is left,
the destroyed dam. Yeah.
yes. So you can imagine that the resolution is not great, but allows you to understand what's happening in the big scheme of the things. For example, there is another very cool feature, which is moisture content, that allows you to see the moisture content of the field. And this at the time where the dam was, there was here the power plant. Where is the power plant? Oh, let me go back.
It's even farther away.
Yeah. I want to show you. Yeah, here. So one of the things that I was exploring about this, you can see how dramatic the situation is. I mean, still very dry, but you can actually see the water content, and you can see where fields have been irrigated and where fields are not irrigated. Of course, there is you can mess a bit with the commands and make sure that some areas pop more out. Normally, I don't touch default setting because otherwise you are kind of messing with what you want to show. But this, for example, can help you to understand if the basin is emptying or not. So this was something that I've done a lot during the period of the fear of the meltdown, in order to understand the situation, which still, like, not great, not terrible, which is not a nice quote for a nuclear power plant, but
yeah.
And this is just to show you what you can see. Of course, is other things that are very, very nice. You can spot very well water course. I use a lot. I'm obsessed with false color because I think makes all these detail very pop out. So you can see very well trenches and embankment of rivers. You can see
settlements and cities.
Settlements, and despite the resolution is not great, to me looks better than the true color, which is useful to understand what you are looking at.
Yeah.
For example, is my strong opinion that this river, if the Russian has at least one general or one officer, good officer left, is the way to go. If hopefully the bridgehead is successful, this is a very long artificial canal that essentially
it feeds Crimea as well, doesn't it? Yeah.
But it's essentially the only natural obstacle that you can put between you and an opposing force, unless you want to fight in each of these settlements. But sorry, I'm digressing now.
I want to note that the desert there is quite of a natural obstacle as well.
Yeah, I mean, I never knew that before the war that there was a desert in this area of the world. Honestly, I'm amazed about these things.
There are more of them. If you can see that, there as well, they are artificially irrigated, some of those, so that they have been able to plant on them. But there are more deserts. Yeah,
definitely dry.
Yeah.
So
okay.
And
what did you want to show us today, though?
Oh yes, sorry. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to share a PowerPoint. Let me give me just 1 second.
Okay, I have to use one of these. So this is a very powerful tool. I'm amazed by how much you can see for free, actually.
Yeah, it's true. It's really, really, really powerful. And before the war started, I was a novice. I studied the satellite imagery. I studied aerospace engineering before, but I never went too much into this, and now I see how powerful these entire techniques are, because essentially you can understand a lot and
Yep.
create a very detailed analysis. Okay, okay, now I share the screen because I think it's easier. Now you
Yeah.
can see my some of stuff that tac.
Okay, tell us when you're ready, man.
No, I'm ready. So
Okay.
now, based on all the stuff that I present to you, just based on satellite imagery, I start to study now, probably was early September, the situation that was developing in the south regarding construction of a new train line that was supposed to join two already existing line, one departing from south here. There is Mariupol, from Mariupol and going east. Now, I already present this in another couple of live stream, but I just want to give an overview, very, very quick. So we start to track these around the 27th of September, when there was some work reported in terms of bridge construction, and essentially we identified the two distinct points of initiation. One here in Malodovne, sorry, and you can see that the work started and progressed across the month, the August, from the 6th of August to the 16th, and similarly from Brne. You can see another junction. This is a train line, and they start to dig and build an extension, and these two lines have to join, and essentially this is the entire project, which I tracked down, and you can see.
And you tracked down this using the same tools that you showed us.
You
Right?
can record. I told you I'm obsessed with false color, and this is of course Google Earth, just to have a map, but probably can be done in a better way. But this is just to show you this in red, blue, green, all these lines, and you can see here, even if it's from very far, you can follow. I don't know if you see the cursor, but you can
Yes.
see all the work that they have done. Pretty neat, honestly. This is the area of the bridge here in this location, and this is the other junction. And they arrived to this position, and they stopped essentially in this area. And this, I mean, I've done more accurate analysis. This is from another. I don't remember which services it is, but it's totally free. It's not updated, of course, but gives you an understanding of what we are looking here. So these are a two line railroad,
double track
railroad,
Yep.
and they are essentially trying to create a junction. At this point was the 5th of October. They still not have done the complete junction. You can still see that there is a difference in color. So this means that there is no track in this area, and the track were measured by using the accuracy of the measurement from the satellite around 25 and 34 meter, which makes sense if you want to do something like this, but on a different rail. And the work was supposedly going very fast, and for this reason I was advised that probably the line is not electrified, because due to the length and the complexity of putting high voltage lines, you will probably need a lot of time. So it's not unlikely that this is a service or a backup solution, and they will use a train that has also diesel generator, which is pretty common. This is on the other side, on Brne, on the east, and you can see very well the junction here. So for this reason, I was 100% sure that at the time there was no completion of this section on the other sector, and this sector started earlier and until now has been the one more developed. Probably also because it's more far east, so it's well within controlled areas. And in fact, as you can see, the area which is here next to Malovovdene is very well within the HIMARS range. at the time we did this analysis. And so why they are building this is out of my mind, because essentially it can be
It can be interrupted.
Very easily. I mean,
Yeah.
but they worked a lot, and this led to a speculation that I tell you in advance was wrong, because from the initial imagery we believed that they were digging something underground, because this is a very big excavation. I spoke with a couple of friends who do this type of works, and they say it's very strange, but looks like they are excavating. And this was an excavation that was more than a kilometer long, and was across this trench system. This trench system was here. If you want to go to geolocate this, was done around 2014 during the first war. So I speculated that maybe they are just doing for storing ammunition, something like that. But then, no, they don't. So you can see this is the Malolovdene junction. Now is fully joined. You can see from here, and you can see that essentially there is a common line. I mean, it's going all the way up. This area still under work. You can see from the false color sometimes can hide some details, and here you can see that now they didn't finish this area, but this is fully excavated, and I don't know why they have done this. I totally don't understand. And then here they are laying another bridge. I think this is a very big lake district, so they want to go over it and then continue. And here just a GIF of animation that show you the progression. As you can see, they still probably have to finish something here, but it's quite, you see.
Oh, the progression is quite fast.
Yeah. And this is the crater that I told you. I was hoping that they tried, no, was there already, you see.
Yeah.
And this is another good things of doing, for example, using this web app, because you can do this very fancy animation. And if there is a crater, you can spot when roughly arrived. So these images, of course, are updated up to the 14th of November. Why not closer? Well, unfortunately, we had bad weather. I could use a SAR imagery, but probably due to the dimension, it's not going to pop up as well as you can see here. Probably they continue to do some work, but probably also the weather is going to have some impact on this type of work. So far, I don't see then why this enormous waste of resources in this area. I really don't understand why they excavated so much, but maybe with time we will understand. And this is just to show you an update, but also what can be done with a grain of salt and some good imagery.
Yeah, this is very fascinating, and it's very much in the spirit of what we're trying to do here, and bring some like I haven't seen a lot of focus on this particular railway line. It's not something you will see in the news. It's not something you will see in most posts on Twitter either. But yeah, you've done some really nice research here. Thank you.
Thank you. And honestly, it's been also a good learning point, because also you want to rush to say, oh, I discovered this, but then you need always to wait, because maybe a day you have good images, and then you say, oh no, I was fooled. But this one, honestly, they took a lot of time to do this, and then I was also distracted by the counteroffensive, so I didn't pay much attention. But that's still, I don't understand. Also because they destroyed a fortification. Here they were housing a very large fortification complex. I don't know why they did this. Anyway.
It's not always easy to understand why the Russians are doing certain things.
Yeah, so sometimes I just reply to myself, it's just Russia. It's normal.
Well, so that's the railway. And the last few days, you've been talking to me about some other things. Would you be able to show us that as well?
Yeah. Today I posted also a meme about. But anyway, so sorry for the slide are not neat as the others, because I did it just on the fly. So these three images come from three different sources. On the right, you have from Brian E6P.
Yeah, but first of all, where is this?
Oh, this is of course the Kerch Bridge.
Okay.
And I was focusing my attention because last night when I saw that images of Rough Sea, apart cheering up with Poseidon for his willing to completely clean up Crimea, I was thinking, what happened to the defense line? Because I remember there was this defense line. This is from Radio Liberty, Radio Free Liberty, and you can see that at the time they place different barges, and probably between these barges there is kind of nets in order to undermine the unmanned naval vehicles from the Ukrainian side to strike the pillars, which I mean has been successful at some point.
They're
So,
basically anti-submarine nets.
kind of. I don't know how much deep they can go. I honestly am not a boat guy, but the only thing that I say to me, oh, if mine drift, are these going to drift? Well, the answer is yes. And also, Brian did a nice job, but I think we looked at different things, and also his timestamp are a bit behind. So I really have no idea of what's going on, because he described another system. I have here his tweet, and I will probably retweet later. He did a nice job to identify different. He has very high resolution imagery, by the way. Identify different locations where these defenses are positioned. And of course, you can do this in a continuous way because you want to still have a passage of both. So there are some opening, if you see. So what I've done was looking at this image and trying to focus on this area between the Tuzla split and the other part of the Kerch. In particular, this is the area that was strike, and this is the railway part that has been removed and replaced, and still not in use. And here you can see I just do this tack tack tack, and this is why I love this stuff, because you see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So these are from the 9 always mess this. This is the 10th of September. And you can see this image instead are around the 22 of October. So I'm the starting of my image are a bit behind this from Brian, but are very well in line with this, because you can see these 7 barges. You can clearly see these. And then if you start to play this GIF, you can see at some point something happened and something disappear. Now we can say, oh, maybe it's the color, maybe it's something strange. But if you look at the date here, it's 10, it's the 15th of October. So we are approaching to this period. And these are SAR images. So you can see they are not neat, but you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these are the 7 badges. And if we play these, you can see that you can still see very well, probably better than these. They're still there, but then, oops, oh, this is very weak. So and also I worked on this with Jay, which I want to thanks for his feedback. Our idea is that at some point we are around this period, there was some rough sea. It's possible that they moved, or they start to move these to make a new installation of protection, or they start to just lose connection with the anchor and just start to drift. Now, why I'm very cautious on this, because I have another imagery, and this time this one is on a much longer timestamp, and now you start to see something. No, it's not. Oh, okay, good. I can show you directly. Give me 1 second. And I have an extended timestamp. I just have to find it. Or well, I can do even better. I can show you directly on the app, on the web app. I think is even better. Give me 1 second.
Tell me when you're ready. So while you are talking about this imagery, Daniele, I'm getting messages from people who want us to show some tweets with new images as well. So we're getting some feedback from the audience as we go along. I sent in the live space in Discord for you to see the tweet.
If there are new updates, please.
Yes,
You
I have
see?
sent you. Yeah.
You see, guy?
Okay, so your screen is now live as well.
Okay, so these are the images. So you can see I try to be honest, and then you can see these are the small dots that we were looking at before. And if you go forward in time, you can start to see that at some point they just completely disappear and they don't come back. Now I think we are unfortunately, yes, we have only these two which pop very, very much. And this is just the 19. So you can see that this is pure black. Normally, if I see even a pixel, I may say, oh, okay, maybe the signal is not strong enough, it's cut away. But in this case, you can see that something disappeared after the fact that they were mostly there. So now I'm waiting a very much.
I'll try and share my screen as well and show the tweets that I got from someone in the audience.
Do you would like me to stop sharing?
I don't think you need. Yeah, so it's from Twitter. It's this tweet. I don't know if you see it full screen now. Yeah, more or less. So he's saying there's something still there.
Yeah, but I think I'm not sure, because I think I'm sure there is something there. But the main problem is that if you look from the presentation that I was showing, is that there are different sections, there are different protection. So would be nice to see when new data is available and see what's going on, because also this may be the old one, because we are at the 23, but at the 23 we have these two dots, and then if I go on the presentation,
okay, I can switch to yours.
So my main concern is this. I mean, these one are on October. So if these were on October, why we don't, and there are no barges anymore, why we see them like this now? So I think something cool is happening, and I'm very curious. So because you see the bridge has a different section. Let me see if I can make these a side by side. So you still see probably the image. Okay, can you still see the image of this satellite?
Yes.
So you can see this weak point, and then I want to open this. So you see, this section is probably the section that the posts are talking about. So something here, which I didn't investigate. I was looking here.
Okay. So it's from two different sections of the bridge.
Yeah, my feeling is that they have done something different, and also why I love this stuff, because you go here, you go. Oh my gosh, there is some images. True color, false color. Hopefully we get something. 22. The beauty of the direct. Okay. As you can see, this is the drama of doing this stuff.
Clouds. Okay.
I hate clouds. And I live in Scotland, so it's no, okay, this is still not okay, so you go to any date, because I'm not interested in the actual data of the. I just want to see the.
Yeah.
So you see, this is probably the area which was shown to us. Let's go to September just to have a clear sky. For
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, bloody
Perfect.
hell. So you see, I think the area that was investigated by Brian and the tweet interests this area here.
Yeah.
But we are talking about this part. Okay, and you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and probably there is something else here. Maybe they tried a different strategies to protect different areas, or at the time this was not protected and now it is. So we just have to look for yeah, you see, you can even measure. I mean, how long these things. It's not very accurate, but no, 96 meters. No, definitely not accurate. But this is what I mean. It's likely that this is a section that is not what they are talking about, because they are talking about this one, I think, which is cool. I would like to see this, but I didn't. Probably SAR at that resolution is not enough. That's the problem.
Yep.
So the final point is this. It's very likely, in my opinion, that something happened here, and we will see.
We don't know why, but there has been quite a turbulent storm in the area the last few days.
Yeah. I think after they threaten us of a radioactive tsunami, they got a normal one. They get wrecked.
Yes. Today we saw some crazy images from Sochi as well. Let's see if we can get a video of that up. But yeah, it's.
Yeah, I stopped sharing because I don't have any further images. But any comment, any question, I'm very happy to reply.
Yeah. So, well, there was a question from the part before with the railway from Keeley.
Yes,
So
I read.
I'll show the question here. Silly question. Can Daniele explain what they meant by excavation in the context of the rail line?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
So I apologize because it's a topic that I already covered, and because I didn't want to repeat. I have probably neglected some details, but I will explain this. So when you build a railroad, you have to ensure that the ground is solid and flat in order to, because once you ensure this and you prepare the ground, the rest of the construction phase is quite fast and out. Even you can use robots to do that in modern Europe or America. But in any case, the excavation means that you removes the first few meters of soil and compact the ground in order to support what you are going to put on. So, and this means that you have to remove quite a lot of soil, and you have to work the ground. So this means the excavation. After this phase of excavation and then compactation, then you can start to lay the part that is going to support the tracks. And the deposition of the tracks normally can happen even with a series of tracks. I mean, trolley that essentially lays the different part of the railroad nearly automatically, and then another team of worker will work on the installation of the railroad. So it's essentially the very first part. It's like building the foundation of an house. Let's take like that. Oh, here we are looking at Sochi.
Yeah, it seems very impressive. I think we can't hear Erlend at the moment right now.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I was muted. So I'm so sorry. Basically, yeah, this is images from the tsunami or the storm that Daniele mentioned as a tsunami. But yeah, this is in Sochi. And I thought this would be the segue to you, Bionade.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, we have like a couple of news items and topics I would like to talk about. We yesterday talked already a little bit about the border issues. We'll come to this in a moment. Maybe let's start with a presentation on the first one. You may remember the bridge which was destroyed in Irpin on the beginning of the war. We saw all the pictures, people under the bridge trying to cross it, trying to cross over the bridge. They were like, yeah, wood laid on the bridges so people could go over these kind of workarounds there for the bridge. They improvised much, but now there's a new bridge. The bridge was opened lately, and I think we all remember these pictures. And this is a very important step of rebuilding of Ukraine, bringing the damages under control. Very happy to see that these kind of projects, which are often supported and financed by the European Union and by private donors and other countries, to see that this is happening. Then we come a little bit more to the topic of the food train. Ukrazalitsnitsia, they started delivering food closer to the front line with the food train. It's a train. Basically, it consists of 6 wagons, a generator car with 14 kilowatt on fueling station for autonomous work, a refrigerator car with a big freezer for storing the food, a cold kitchen car for food pre-processing, a hot kitchen car for cooking the meals, a car for the crew with a shower and washing machine, and a luggage car with 27,000 liters of water reservoir, filtration station, and a pumping station. So this food train can drive around Ukraine, drive around the front lines, can go wherever they need to support people, to support volunteers. It's a really nice project, and I for myself can speak about Ukrazalitsnitsia. They're really reliable. They drive on time, and it's really one of the backbones of the Ukrainian logistics, basically, right? Another topic I want to talk about is the border in Ukraine. We talked about this yesterday already, the border between Poland and Ukraine. You may remember the European Union implemented an agreement on liberalization of the transport between Ukraine and the European Union, basically. And this means on the border points, for example, Poland or Slovakia, where are the problems right now, and smaller protests, they can pass through the border until at least mid of next year, thanks to this liberalization agreement. And this is making concurrence for Polish transportation and logistics companies allegedly, and a handful of people protesting and blockading two free border checkpoints, which has kind of an impact. There are around 3,000 Ukrainians which are not able to get back to Ukraine. And a couple of days ago, on the 7 days of the blockade, the world famous chef Jose Andres from the World Central Kitchen came and supported this Ukrainian driver in Poland. As far as I know, he's at least since a year, if I remember correctly, in Ukraine, helping and supporting people there. And now this kitchen basically was at the Polish border supporting the Ukrainian drivers. They delivered 3,000 portions of soup and sandwiches for the drivers, and so they have like a hot meal, and because they're still sitting there and tens of kilometers of lines, which is very annoying for the drivers, and also blockading the economy between Ukraine and the European Union a bit. Hopefully this will be resolved quickly, because the Ukrainians really are not the right people to protest against, and also the Polish government can't do really much. It's a decision of the European Union, and it's a broader in a broader sense. Possibly, if Ukraine at some point will join the European Union, they will have this concurrence and they have to live with this. We will see how this works out in the future.
I mean, there's just recently been new elections there, and I think the new government is still not set up, but I assume things will change when a new government is coming in. So at least I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely right, and we will see how this works out. Like I said, officially numbers, it's around 15 to 20 people who are actually taking part in the border blockades at any point of time, and it's not. It's 1 to 2 handful of peoples basically, which or 2,000 peoples which doesn't blockade 2 border crossings and a big important way into Lviv. Really problematic. All right, let's come to another topic. You may remember from the last year the points of invincibility. Ukraine has more than 13,000 prepared now. These are special points. Special points basically where you have heating, where you have a big tent usually, where you have a possibility to load or charge your phones, to drink something, to cook a hot tea, and similar things. They need, like here in the article written, which is from October, they want to equip 2,500 more. But like, it's really an impressive number. Ukraine is really getting prepared for the winter, and they have to be prepared, as we saw lately. These new attacks on Kiev, and not only on Kiev, but many other oblasts in Ukraine where the infrastructure is attacked. So very important step of Ukraine, preparing these points of invincibility, and helping the citizens to get along in the winter.
So what are these invincibility points? Can you explain a little better? Because I don't know if everyone knows what it means.
Basically these are points in different cities or smaller towns where on special squares or on big roads where people can basically go warm themselves up. Sometimes it's public buildings, sometimes it's tents, sometimes it's basically shelters. They can get some food usually there, something to drink, reload and recharge their phones, and do all the necessary things you really need to do if you don't have electricity everywhere. So usually they have a generator. Often they give out hot tea and similar things. So it's a really, really important thing, and helps the people to come over in the hard times in the winter, when Russia is like now attacking the really important infrastructure of Ukraine.
Yeah, it sounds like something very important, and I hope most people have access to this, especially those who are more in a risk of losing power and heat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I think. Do you have another topic?
No, I think this was my quick overview about news items and what was important in the last couple of days. So
Thank you very much. I think we might have a question from our friend Jonathan as well. Can you hear us, Jonathan? Well, I'm not sure if the technicalities are completely 100% tonight, but let us know when you're ready, Jonathan. Anyways, I wanted to say something that I think is very, very nice. Not going to mention names, but we got some very nice messages from people who listened and were very interested in some topics and asked to get in touch, etc. And there might be some future. I'm not sure if they're going to come here on Tochnyi and talk, but at least Daniele will work with some more people in the open source community, which is very nice. And that's kind of this magic of the open source intelligence community. People acknowledge each other's work and use it as a basis for their further work. So yeah. Daniele, you wanted to say something about pontoons?
I think it's not a hate crime saying I hate pontoon.
Okay, Jonathan, we can hear you now.
Oh, that's great. Sorry, it was literally my mic was muted. Yeah, thanks guys. Great stream, which I hope you can do again soon. Maybe an earlier time would be great. It's an hour later, I think, for you, Erlend. So yeah. Thanks, Bionade. It's good to see a working railway line in Ukraine, in complete contrast to the total mess that the Russians are making of theirs, with the paleontologic excavations underneath it, perhaps to find the origin of species. Who knows? My question is I'm not sure if you covered this because I missed the beginning of the stream, but it's about it's about the barges that, we've seen a number of attacks on the Russian Black Sea Fleet. Obviously, we've seen 5 Raptor class patrol boats, 3 Rapprocheur class landing ships. We've seen the Kilo class get hidden in dock. These barges, how would you rate the level of protection that they have offered up to now to the Kerch Bridge? And should an unfortunate accident with a Poseidon weapon have occurred, and a perfectly normal tidal surge, joking aside, have happened, which removes this protection from the Kerch Bridge, how serious does this look from what you can glean from the Sentinel images?
I think this is a question for me, John.
Yes, it is.
Oh, well, this question is very hard to reply because, of course, we don't know about any new attack. I mean, there was a report about a couple or one at least boat, unmanned boat being halted, but we don't know if it has a malfunction. I mean, in any way, these type of solution are like, in my opinion, like a patch to a problem that, of course, is very difficult to solve, because as I was speaking prior to the live, that bridge, the entire length of the bridge, needs to be anyway somehow crossed by boats. There are some crossing point, of course, so you can kind of try to isolate, but the rough weather, and also other maintenance problem will always require you to keep everything tidy and in full function to try to mitigate the problem. I think that may probably pose an obstacle at the very least for these boats, especially the older one. But there are many others way on how you can hit that bridge, and we know about that. Oh, I see a video playing now. And of course, putting some kind of obstruction is for sure something that can work in the short term, but I'm quite sure that there are ways to essentially avoid this type of defenses.
That's interesting. Thanks. I mean, the Kerch Bridge strike last year involving either a naval drone or, as the SBU puts it, a truck with, I think, enough ordnance and a penetrator to bring that section of the bridge down. This kind of attack that you're showing now is I think this video is particularly interesting. These drones avoid protection in the main. I think it's fair to say. Yeah, they get shot at a lot, but they often seem to catch the Russians napping. So these barges evidently hold a purpose to prevent such an attack happening on the Kerch, these sections of the Kerch Bridge.
Well, yeah. Sorry, go on.
So yeah, I mean, the final point I was going to make was, of course, the wave conditions are, fortunately, unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, they're pretty high at the moment. So this would perhaps negate the use of naval drones. This is just I'm just guessing from that, but I think they must have a tolerance limit from what I gather. So yeah, it'd be interesting. It will be interesting to see uh, if these barges, you know, if they do break their anchor, if they do drift, how long it's going to take the Russians to put them back into where they were before, and what Ukraine can do in the meantime. But it's definitely a change, and any kind of change that we witness in this war, Tochnyi is on it straight away. So I look forward to the next episode of this broadcast. Thanks, guys.
Oh, you're welcome. And I just would like to add something. I think that one of the main reasons why Ukrainians are not pushing too much on the destruction, on the complete destruction of the bridge, is also because at the moment it is better to stay up and damage, because it creates a dilemma for them. Do we have to invest resources to protect it? How much is good? And if it gets damaged, how much we have to commit to repair it? So in this situation, even the only threat of losing it is worse of losing it at all, because once it's down, it's down. You are not going to rebuild, so you have to find other solution. Instead, now they have to redirect resources. They essentially negated one of the oh, that's a very rough sea. And so yes, I think we will see the Kerch Bridge down, but not anytime soon, I think. Thank you.
I just wanted to note that even though Ukraine might not be able to either destroy these obstacles or pass them in any way with the naval drones, Russia is still putting up a lot of effort and using a lot of resources on this particular endeavor, and it just makes me a little bit happy to see that things are not working out as they should, because that means that they're going to put a lot more work and resources and in trying to fix those nets and barges protecting the bridge. And the reason why they have to do this is because Ukraine has shown ingenuity and strength when they have attacked objects in the Black Sea with these very, very simple and cheap naval drones, destroying equipment for hundreds of millions of dollars, which the Russians have spent years and years on building. They've been modernizing some of their fleet in the Black Sea as well, and Ukraine has been very clever to strike it. And I think, we're going to see more of these drones. Even though I'm a little bit worried that some of them will be captured by the Russians. I saw someone washed up at Crimea, but I think Ukraine at this point are going to use them. For any of these missions, whenever they feel that it's most opportune. I think we're coming towards an end. So if you guys don't have any closing words, then I think we're going to close the stream for tonight. Daniele? Jonathan? No final words?
Oh, thanks for the stream. Nice all, and Slava Ukraini.
Always Slava Ukraini, Heroям Slava.
Heroям Slava. Okay, I'm going to try and play the outro. And see you again at the next pop-up stream.
On behalf of the brave.